Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the cooking night with Chef Uno, part of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games presented by the Hartford. I am your host, Samantha Bosco, and I'm excited to be with you all today. Before we get started, I have a few quick announcements. Please remain on mute during the cooking demonstration. If you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. It's in the reactions section of Zoom at the bottom. Or post your question in the chat and I can share it with Chef Uno. We also have time for a live Q&A at the end of the session. I will also can unmute your video during the session if you want to ask the question while Chef Uno is doing something specific. A huge thank you to the Hartford, the presenting sponsor of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games, as well as our hosting sponsor, Adaptive Apps. We'd also like to thank Shannon Fabrics for sponsoring this wonderful event. Shannon Fabrics is the premier wholesale supplier of the highest quality and best selection of plush fabrics and a longtime friend of Angel City. They also have blankets, Cuddle Pals, and Infinity Scarf kits available if you need a creative spark and want to make something together as a family activity. Tonight we are excited to welcome Chef Uno. Based in Dallas, Texas, Chef Uno has made her culinary mark with her passion for cooking, her boundless energy, and her mission to make the world tastier, one bite at a time. She joins us in the kitchen tonight with her daughter, Emma. Welcome to you both. Feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Samantha. Hi, everybody. This is from our home kitchen. So we're making one of the meals that we cook together. And Emma's been cooking with me since she was like 7 years old. And she was on Chopped Junior 1 year and learned to do different cooking techniques. And so now I think she's even better than me. And so it's almost like a symphony when we move to the kitchen and we'll try different recipes together. And what's great about it is that it's, you know, when we're so busy, even pre-COVID, it was time for us to connect and to taste and to really calibrate what we think is great and just good old fashioned quality time together. So tonight we're making a turkey spaghetti and a cheese bread on a cast iron skillet just over the stove because we were just talking about how long it takes to heat up that oven sometimes. And then we're gonna do a watermelon salad because it's in season. We're gonna start with things that are taking the longest because we usually cook in like 15-20 minute increments. And so a watch pot never boils. So we are gonna turn on the pot of water first and get that going. And you wanna season it with plenty of salt. Oh, wrong one. It should taste like the sea when you put it in there. And so then we have some salt for us, Angel. Yeah. There's salt. Do you want it hot? Yeah. Actually, no, will you come and grab this salt for us on the top? So we're gonna get that going, and then Emma's gonna show you guys how we chop up some of the vegetables for the spaghetti sauce itself. And this is what we do to make it a little bit more robust, right?
Yes. Is there a plastic bag? Okay. Well, I recommend keeping a plastic bag near your cooking space because you can put like your all of your peels in there from like the watermelon, the carrots, the apples, all of that. So it's just easier than making a million trips to the trash can. But we may not have one, so I might just go like that. So starting by peeling the carrots, just holding it like this and going straight down. And a lot of these small things just add a little bit of extra texture to the sauce.
They do, and I think that if you're vegan or vegetarian, it gives you an option to have that meat feel in your mouth without actually having any proteins in it. And so she'll do like a small bite, and I have 2 videos on here, pretty small bites, and we can make a ton of it. And vegetables, I mean, carrots are fairly inexpensive, and when you put them in the pan, they caramelize a little bit, so there's a natural sugar that's gonna come out of them too. And so we're also gonna do apples. I know apples seem like one of those, like, why would you put apples in there? But once you cook it down with spaghetti sauce, another thing that adds texture and natural sugars into your food. So Emma's peeling it, and she's gonna chop that. I'm gonna actually see if I can. I'm gonna go side by side with you, Emma.
Perfect.
Let's see if I can peel these apples.
And then I cut off both ends of the carrots. And a lot of times, if like we'll multitask, we'll have like a pot of like chicken stock going, and we can use all these extra ingredients and just throw them in there. And then that's like for all for another day.
Yep,
so, yeah.
you do. Yeah, we get a whole chicken. We'll take whatever's left, the bones, and then these end pieces of the vegetables and create a really amazing stock, and then freeze it for later use, and then throw like rice or vegetables in for vegetable soup or chicken and noodle soup another day. So I feel this will be some good things and chocolate piano for the apples. And so once we get these guys chopped down, what we'll do is we'll put them into a pan and saute them down a little bit. So I have a pan over here. I'm going to get started with these carrots. I put a little, it's just a big stock pot over here. There's some olive oil in there. I put these carrots in. And turn the heat up so we can get it sizzled. And I have a camera, I'll bring it closer so you guys can see what those pieces will look like as we start layering in all the different flavors in there. I made this the other day for a catering event, and it was a vegan spaghetti sauce, and nobody was seeing that there was no meat. Now that we are doing ground turkey today, but you do ground chicken, beef, whatever you prefer in there. So,
Is it, Chef Uno, is it okay if they're using baby carrots?
yes, it's perfect. And then for our pizza dough, I'm going to show you guys what this looks like.
Hey, where did that picture? Oh, did you put them in there?
Yeah,
Oh.
they disappear like magic.
No, I was like, where did they ran away.
All right, so here's the pizza dough that we bought. It's just the canned Pillsbury pizza dough. I took it out and I cut them into slices. You can also go to like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. They have them in the bag. You can make them in different shapes. And I have a cast iron skillet over here. I'm going to turn down just a smidge. I put olive oil in there. We're just going to layer it down and then flip it and then put garlic salt, Parmesan cheese, and some mozzarella cheese. Kind of like making a cheese pizza. So my water's boiling. I'm going to go ahead and put the pasta in. And then I'll put in the bread itself, the pizza. This is such a great job.
Yeah, I cut them into like pretty small sticks first because then it's just easier to chop it into teeny tiny little bits.
We have a couple people wanting to know what they should do if they don't have a cast iron skillet.
You can use a regular, just non-stick skillet as well. So we have one of these guys. It has a non-stick texture on there. It's the best because that way it doesn't cling on there. Make sure it's a medium heat instead of a high heat because you'll burn it before if it's too high. So make sure it's just like a good heat that you can just put the bread on, the dough on. So this is the cast iron skillet I have here. I'm just taking the dough that I've cut into squares here, putting them down into the pan. And these will go pretty quickly, and then I'm going to season them. So one side like a minute, and then we're going to flip it while it's still warm and put the garlic salt in there. And I didn't have garlic salt, I did garlic powder, and then I added a little salt with it. So now I have my garlic salt. You do this ahead of time. You can put it on other things as well as extra seasoning for your food. This is a great treat to add the flavor to anything else you're making in the kitchen. If you don't have fresh garlic. I'm using whole wheat pasta as well for my spaghetti pasta. All right. So my dough is in here. I'm still chopping that. I'm going to show you guys this bread on this camera here so you guys can see a close up. I just took it and flipped it, and you can do whatever shape, like I said, you want on there, and I just kind of roughly chopped that. And now I'm going to put in, this is garlic, salt and garlic powder on top of there. And this is Parmesan cheese. It's got pre-grated from the store. And this is going to have that salty component in there. And then I have some mozzarella cheese that Emma grated for me really finely. Put that on top. And this, guys, is pretty much done for the cheese bread itself. That was easy. If you guys wanted to do like diced tomatoes on here and basil, it becomes a mozzarella pizza.
Chef, feed me to my question for you. What are some ways that you varied this up?
So you can definitely make this like a skillet pizza, or this pizza dough itself here. Pepperoni, you can do all sorts of whatever toppings you want to put in there, especially if you have little ones in the kitchen. They can help decorate this, right? You can make it sweet if you wanted to. Maybe do like a cinnamon sugar and some butter or some jelly. That would be delicious in here as well. This dough is already pre-made, so it's super versatile and it's inexpensive. I think the can was $1.50 at the store. And then you have the pasta, it's going already. And then we have our carrots here. And we're gonna add a little bit more and saute this up a little bit. I'm gonna put this back over here.
What if you don't have basil?
You can use other herbs. You can use parsley, or you can use dried, the dried ingredients. That's from the can itself. So I love using dry herbs, and so we have a whole set of dry herbs up here. We're gonna find. We have oregano, we have thyme. So use the ingredients and the herbs that you like, but then that's always be fresh. I prefer it. We have a little garden on the balcony. We can pull the fresh herbs from and add that and layer them. So Emma's got some apples. I'm gonna go ahead and add that into the pan here with the carrots, and then we'll dice some onions. And then we're gonna, while Emma's still doing that, we're going to talk about watermelon. Okay, so here's a watermelon that we got yesterday at the grocery store. We had it in the refrigerator. I like cold watermelons. We had it in the fridge to stick it out with some condensation here. What you look for in a watermelon is there's a patch on it. So this is a little yellow patch. That means that it's been basking in the sun, living its best life before it's plucked for us to enjoy. So you want to see that first and foremost. The second thing is when you look at it, you kind of have an idea of how much you think it's going to weigh. If it's heavier than what it looks, then you want to get that watermelon. It needs to be nice and juicy inside of here. So I'm actually going to slice this one up for y'all. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. And my trick is I cut the ends off because you want a good foundation for it to sit. Because if you cut it this way, it's going to rock, and you don't want that. You're going to end up cutting yourself. So once you get a flat foundation, you lay it like this. I cut both ends off, and I kind of peel it away as if I'm just taking off the rind and just doing this on both sides. So just going around all the edges and taking off the white parts. The white part is the part that's obviously not sweet. You can see how pink and juicy this is already. So I'm super excited.
Me too. Watermelon is definitely my favorite.
Me too.
Especially during the summer. It's just the most refreshing.
Yeah, it's got that texture.
Okay, so this is the technique for cutting an onion. The side that, I don't know how to explain it, the side where it was like growing from, or like, I don't know, where it's solid, that's the part that I leave on because it helps keep it stable while you're like cutting it horizontally. So first I go in like this. This is how the chefs taught me whenever I was training for Chop Junior. So you make these really thin layers, just like that. This is like the most effortless way to dice it.
Yeah, and you want to have that one root side that Emma talked about because that way it stays intact.
Root side. Then you cut it like that, right on top.
I don't know why onions don't make me cry anymore. I don't know that there's a trick. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, once we taste it, and you start crying in a minute. Tears of joy.
I think people just wear goggles whenever they don't want to. I know some people that just talk about
Yeah.
this. For a while, these were like my ultimate weakness. I mean, onions get me like every time. This one's actually not.
No, I mean, I'm like, we're slicing it.
Yes, and then you go right on the end, and it has such a fine dice. Just like that.
So it's just gonna melt there.
Yes.
All right, my watermelon's almost done. Look at that, guys. Look at this perfect watermelon. Blend it down, make like a watermelon smoothie. You will love that. I'm gonna slice it in half like this.
Is there anything that can be done with the watermelon rind or the white part?
Yes, we can pickle them. I have not pickled a watermelon rind, but it's a process of putting sugar and water and a little bit of salt and vinegar and pickle that and eat it. I just would first want to buy it. You can also put it in, if you're composting, definitely put it in your compost too. Great question. This cutting board is not big enough.
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm gonna have to eat.
I always get juice all over the place whenever I cut it.
Yeah. It's juicy, all right. So I'm gonna cut this into probably almost a 1 inch or ½ inch, 3/4 inch cubes. I'm gonna put it in this bowl.
Chef, we got some questions on what is being cooked in the other pan that's not the pizza dough.
Oh, that's the pasta. So spaghetti in that one.
Yeah, this is the pasta, this is the pizza dough, and this is where the apples and carrots are cooking down right here.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah?
Huh?
Yeah.
All of it ends. We're gonna let that saute for another minute or two. And I'll show you guys what it should look like. And then we're gonna add in our turkey to that.
What's the advantage to using whole wheat pasta versus regular?
You know, it's really preference. I think at the end of the day, there's still carbs. They're less complex. It's the whole wheat, and really it's preference. To me personally, I think that the health benefits are pretty marginal sometimes. The whole wheat versus just regular pasta.
Have you used other versions like bean pasta or edamame pasta?
I have. I've used an edamame pasta. That's good. The other day, I used a hearts of palm pasta, which is no carbs. That was absolutely
really
delicious.
good.
And then we did, we do zoodles sometimes. And butternut squash is also really, really perfect. So this is our cheese bread. It's done. I'm gonna put some more.
I think they reviewed on there. They might not be able to see it. I don't know.
You want to do it again? Strawberry?
You can see it, but they can't.
That's the sheets. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and make the rest of these random pieces of cheese bread.
There you go.
I see how I can fit this stove.
Should I do this?
Now, if people don't have a non-stick pan, should they use olive oil or butter, or is there time to use one over the other?
Butter. Well, olive oil is better. Butter has a tendency to get brown. I like the brown butter taste. But use olive oil, then finish it with butter. So don't start with butter, because you know your butter, there's like milk solids that come out of there. So they tend to get a little brown, and so they're gonna turn the bread brown. Grapeseed oil is great, and avocado oil is great too, if you guys were to use that. And the butter makes everything amazing. So
Whatever floats your boat.
we love butter. I think we put butter
We
on
butter everything. Yeah. Whatever can go in, I put it in.
Okay, I think this is good. I'm gonna use half of the watermelon, and then if you can dice the cucumber ends. And we're using an English cucumber, and we're gonna dice it about the same. And English cucumbers, I prefer those are like the smaller cucumbers, Persian cucumbers. Those are my absolute favorite, which I think we have. And with these, the skin is so thin, you don't actually have to peel them, and that's a preference too. And we have some Persian cucumbers in here. What I like about these guys is we can slice this on here is that they're even thinner. I feel like they're more crisp.
And they're a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to just like take these to lunch at my school always. They were like, is that a cucumber?
Emma does a lot of random things. So these I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna bring my pan really quick to see what's going on in this pot. I have a pound of ground turkey here. I'm gonna add to the pot, and I'm gonna show you guys. And let me try to get it with the spoon out here, Angel. I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like in here really quick. So I can put this together. So here is the pan with the carrots, the apples, and the onions I sauteed, and so now I'm adding turkey in here. We're gonna let this brown a little bit before I add the pasta sauce in there. I'm gonna season this with a little salt and pepper. And I love putting salt and pepper in a container. That way I can feel it with my hands versus like just grinding it in because you don't ever feel it. So this is probably about a teaspoon of salt in here. You want to layer each of the flavors, each of the components in there. So once this is almost cooked a little bit, I'm going to add the pasta sauce on top. And I just picked a regular pan of marinara. I'm going to put in there and a little water in there. I had a little bit extra left over, so I'm going to add that in there too. And you guys can use whatever pasta sauce that you prefer. You can even use just plain canned tomatoes if you want to do that. All right. I'm going to let that sit a little bit, and then, ooh, Emma, look at this. I feel like a real camera person. All right, so there you go. Oops, there you go. I'll put this. Oops. What happened to our?
Chef, what is your favorite pasta sauce?
Oh my gosh, to buy or to make?
Yes.
To buy, I like just getting the San Marzano canned whole tomatoes, and I make my own spaghetti sauce. But as far as to make, I love like a good spicy like carbonara, like with short rib and roasted, like little bits of meat in there. It's so good. It's like, it feels so homely. And that's one that we actually freeze and like use for multiple things. Yeah. So this is me making more of the bread. This is garlic salt, Parm cheese, and mozzarella cheese. And then we'll let it melt. And then we're done with this.
I'll stir the pot.
So I'm going to take that off, the pasta.
Oh, you know what? You have some.
They're here.
Now I see you have the cucumber already in the watermelon salad. What are some other twists on the watermelon that you like to make in summertime?
Say that one more time.
What are some variations of that watermelon salad for the summer that you like to make?
Ooh, gosh. We add basil to it. We can do mozzarella in there. Gosh, watermelon goes so well with everything. I've done this one salad, almost like we use tomatoes in a caprese salad. I cut the tomatoes, I cut the watermelons to look like tomatoes, and then layer it with like mozzarella cheese and basil and balsamic and olive oil on top, and it's delish. And this onion, this one actually puts some, I'm gonna try to follow the recipe, but I just may go and do my own thing right here. So here's this onion here. This is a red onion I use for this one. I prefer the taste of this one. It's a little sweeter for the watermelon salad. I'm gonna slice it super thin and layer that on top as well. Thank you, Emma.
So this is, this is everything cooking down, the apples, the carrots, and the brown.
Emma, a little louder. I don't think we can hear you.
Do I put one on yet?
No. Just talk louder because your back's turned.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is, oh, you can see it because it's, okay, anyways.
She has her blonde moments, I swear.
I didn't, I thought that was the only one who could go big screen. Anyway, so we have the carrots, the apples, and the ground turkey right here kind of cooking down. I'm just stirring it a little, and then I just leave it there.
So I took the pasta out, and then I'm not gonna wash it. I just strained it. I put some olive oil on top of it, and you can see it's steaming right here. So it's done. And again, I love to season every single component of my pasta. So I have olive oil in there. This is just salt and pepper, seasoning with that. And then I had something like, this is one of my random hacks. I have some of this, we have Parmesan, but here's some that's already grated here. I put that on top. And honestly, you can eat this by itself. Throw some tomatoes, some fresh tomatoes, some basil in there, easy. And then this is at the Asian store. It's fried garlic chips. It's like crunchy. If you guys can see me, put it in here so I can see it. It's super crunchy. And it's already done. If you love garlic, you're gonna love this.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, do that one more time.
Sorry,
One more time.
there you go. And so we're gonna put this on top of here like this. And this pasta, and you can take some basil. If we were to make this just as a side dish with like fish or chicken, this could be a pasta dish on its own like this. Super easy. And then here's some parsley. And I love just tearing things with my hands. Parsley. Is it not? That one's getting, we jinxed it, didn't we? Those are just tears of joy, Emma.
Yeah, I can't wait to eat it.
Will you put the onions on top of there? Just kind of separate them.
Do you have any other cheese recommendations?
Ooh, okay. So this is what I'm a big cheese fanatic. I love cheese. If you guys get a chance, I had this at the restaurant, so I brought it home. But this is like a Reggiano Parmigiano. It's from Whole Foods. But this is how I will go nibble on this guilty pleasure with maybe across the line. But let me show you guys what it looks like close to here. You can see like the little morsels of salt in there that's aged, and it's got this umami flavor. There you go. This umami flavor. Those blocks, and it usually has that rind on it. It's from Italy, and so I just love just doing this. And so maybe I'll put this on top of here too, because why not? Look at that. This pasta is so amazing, just on its own like this. We're gonna put that marinara sauce on it.
Now, Emma, what are you doing with the watermelon salad?
I'm just taking is it red onion and separating these slices right here. Can you see like this? Basically, it's like these little slices because it looks really pretty on top. So we usually don't dice it. We just leave them in thin slices like that. Because you can still really taste it that way.
I can't get this open. Here's my trick. I got it. Need no help. So I'm pouring in the tomato sauce, marinara sauce. I like to get every little bit out of it, so I'll put some water in. You guys have done this. You put the water in, you shake it, clean it out. And then I recycle the jars and use them to store other things like oil or fat. Or pickling watermelon rinds if you're doing that. All right. So this marinara is pretty much done. I'm gonna let it simmer for just a second. And I know that we already have carrots and apples that are sweet, but I personally like to add a little brown sugar. It's not on the recipe card, but brown sugar.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
You love it, Emma. So like a teaspoon of brown sugar in there will add that extra depth. Because usually, like the marinara sauce, when you get it from the can, it's really acidic and it's tart. And so I feel like that little bit of brown sugar balances it out. Okay. So this is the beef salad here. This. Okay. And then we said cheese, feta. Feta is the other part that goes on top of here. And feta is it's a sheep's or goat's milk. It's a little salty. And so you don't have to add too much salt. We just crumble this on top. But this is like eating the rainbow here. I want you to ask basil and put it on top of here. And instead of making the dressing, I'm just gonna put salt and pepper and olive oil on top of this. But you can make the dressing that's on there with like the garlic and everything else. But we did it last night, and just with the olive oil and salt and pepper, it's perfect.
It's so good. And you don't even need to slice the basil. You just tear it right off.
Yeah. Another way to get the kids in the kitchen. No knives, utensils needed. I'm surprised I haven't broken anything.
I know, it's
Cut my
crazy.
finger today.
Somebody should have.
We need to go
Maybe
buy the
should
lottery. All right.
Now, this might be a weird question, and I think I'm asking for myself because I'm a salt fiend. But do you like the flavored salts, like the Himalayan salt, the rock salt, the lava salt? Like, what are the differences between those? And I know there's finishing salt and cooking salt. What are your favorites? What do you like to use the most?
Oh my gosh, okay, so I love using kosher salt. That's my first, like that, the fine little salt thing is too salty for me. I can't do that. I don't know why. I mean, it's like I have it's like, it has iodine in it. I know it's supposed to be good, but I use kosher salt, the one in the blue box, because the granules are a little thicker. I can feel them, and they melt a little bit more into your food. But my favorite salt of all time is Maldon sea salt. And I kind of, what's that container? And the reason I love it, you have to get it off Amazon or you have to go to like a specialty store and get it because it looks like little snowflakes. It's literally finishing salt. If I could put it on everything, I would. This is the Maldon sea salt here. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like in my hands. And we're gonna put it on top of here. But like, look at, isn't that beautiful? Like every flake is a little different. And then when I put it on top of my food, I just take it and like crunch it between my fingers. It just feels luxurious. When you drizzle all that olive oil on sometimes. Yes. Do it, do it, do it. So this is super healthy, as you guys can see. The feta probably has the most calories in here, but they're all natural sugars that's there. And so we'll just toss this up and put it on a plate. Let's try that together first. And then I'll pour this.
Chef, what are some suggestions for cooking on a budget?
Finding things and breaking them down on your own. For instance, like instead of buying chicken breast, buy the whole chicken and just cut it off and then cut off the breast and the meat pieces of the drums. You have a lot more. You're paying $1.19 or 89 cents a pound for that versus $1.99 a pound. So then you can take the bones again and make stock out of it and do other things with it. Same thing with like meat, right? If your family loves beef, what you can do is get like a roast and take that and you know, make chili out of it. And it just stretches the dollar a whole lot more than just, you know, getting things already pre-cut for you and all that. So, and a lot of things I do to save money as far as proteins go is if you don't, you know, you're trying to stretch it and still want that beefy flavor, is using some of those beef bouillon, beef broth, you know, that's already in the packet. That'll extend and make the flavor go a little bit further. And typically in my spaghetti sauce, I do put some wine in there. I think wine is a good addition to some of these in here. So that was just a side note. Today I'm not drinking. Okay, so dinner is pretty much done. I'm going to put it into a plate. It's going to
Bowl?
Mhm.
Plate?
Mhm.
Plate? Bowl? Small plate?
I'm gonna get some pasta here. I have a plate. We're gonna start plating this up so you guys can see it. Here's my pasta, all done. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm yelling at Emma. I'm just kidding. Here we go. So I just take this pasta, swirl it here. Get some of the marinara. And then I'm gonna zest some, grate some Parmesan cheese on it, and then we'll toss this salad together here. Look at that. Can y'all see all the colors in that? Oh, so awesome. Get this camera on here. Look at that. Right? I feel so guilty. We're gonna be eating, y'all will be watching us. But I mean, this took what, 20, 25 minutes or so? Like, I don't remember the time frame that we're on. And then one more Parmesan cheese. A little bit of this garlic bread. I'm gonna put the salad on a different plate because I don't want it to all mix together here. So with the salad, you get the sweet watermelon, and then you get the crisp cucumbers in there. The onions are gonna add a little bit more of the savory component, and then the feta's got the salty. So you've got this well-rounded flavor on your palate as well. Here, just give you a little bit more of this. Put you some cheese.
Oh yes, pile it on. You know, you're all gone. They're like, tell me when. I just never say it.
Never say when. Just keep on going. Some basil on there for you. Okay, perfect. All right, we're gonna try this, and then you guys actually watch us cook this. And how many people actually did anybody cook along with us?
I think.
Probably a lot to keep up with.
Oh yeah.
Yay! All right, try the pasta. It's so good. I love that the pasta by itself is delicious, but then you add the meaty components on top of that. You can't even tell that there's carrots and apples inside of it. Sneaking all the goodness together. Oh. And then you have the garlic bread there. And we just took the canned pizza from the can, put it in a cast iron skillet, garlic powder, salt, Parm cheese, and mozzarella cheese, and let it melt on top. And that took like 3 minutes. And then it's like dessert / salad.
That looks so good.
It's so good.
Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or ask in the chat. If you have any questions, want to share what you made, what your favorite one was. If you have any other recommendations for vegetables to add into that spaghetti.
Anything you want. I mean, squash, zucchini. There's going to be a little bit more water in those. But yeah, you literally could dice any vegetable and put it in there. I mean, I don't see why you can do sweet potatoes in there. We have some sweet potatoes and yams in here. That would be really delicious in there as well. Sam, you gonna make this later?
I am so going to make it later. I cannot wait. I actually had a watermelon salad with tahini and thinly sliced jalapenos.
Oh, yum.
It was the best watermelon salad I've ever tried, so I've been like addicted to different watermelon salads. So that'll probably be made first.
That sounds amazing. I forget about jalapenos. We need jalapenos.
Oh yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a question. Asher has tomato sauce, not marinara. Will that work, and or what else can they add to it?
Perfect. So I actually prefer getting tomato sauce or canned tomatoes instead. We get I have the San Rosado, which are like, actually let me get it for y'all. Let me show you what the can is on.
Oh, where is it? What is it?
The San Rosado canned tomatoes.
If it's not in there, then it's probably not here.
Oh, here it is. We're in the process of moving in. So this is why I love using just canned tomatoes. So that's a really great question. I can actually control what sugars and everything go in there a little bit more. And so I'll take it, put it in a bowl, and I'll smash it with my hands and do the same seasoning that you had here. So if you put like, garlic and onions and all your veggies and saute them down. Another added trick we do is adding anchovies. I know people are like, oh, it's anchovies. I don't like the taste of it. But once you put anchovies in a pan with all these veggies, they kind of melt into the pasta, into the sauce itself. And so that's a really good layer to put in there. But yeah, I actually prefer this over marinara when I make my pasta sauces. Good question.
Awesome. Got another one for you. What is your favorite part about being a chef?
Oh my gosh, you know what it is? It's like, if you guys don't know my story and haven't had a chance to look through or whatever, I was a banker for 16 years and I always loved cooking. My mom used to cook to make ends meet when we were younger, but she told me not to go into the food business because it was a lot of hard work, stay on your feet, it's manual, and no holidays, all that good stuff. So anyway, becoming a chef and having a restaurant, what I love about it most is that I had this random idea in my head. I get to put it on paper, I get to test it out, essentially gets on the menu, I get to influence people's buying decisions, people's eating decisions, and I feel like food is such an intimate part of our lives. It's nourishing our body, obviously, we're ingesting it, it's feeding us, it's, it gives us the ability to function on a day-to-day basis, and so what we eat matters. And so when it came to opening up Breadsticks, our restaurant here in Dallas, I wanted to think about, how can we get healthy alternative for Asian food and folks, because you think of the Panda Expresses, everything's fried, everything's flavored with tons of sauce, lots of processed sugars on there, and so we make all our sauces in-house, and it just makes my heart smile to know that I am doing something great. I think that when people taste it, they can taste the love, as hokey as that sounds, but there's a lot of detail that goes into it. I love when guests go on to that first bite. I knew that somebody thought about every single ingredient that went into that bowl. So
everything is done by hand. Nothing is canned. We do it all in the morning.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the details that matter. And just like this home cooked meal here, when people say, I don't have time to cook, and Emma and I start cooking together, and yes, we're cooking together, but we're also having this moment of tasting food, and then and sometimes we actually stand up in the kitchen and eat and talk to each other just like this, instead of sitting at the dining room table. And so it's nice to be able to do that. And so food is definitely a huge part of our lives.
So what is your favorite recipe to make, and where can everybody find more recipes from you?
Our favorite recipe to make, well, Emma, what's yours first?
I don't know. I feel like maybe I enjoy making like a good pan-seared salmon and a good pasta. Or like one of my go-tos is like fried rice.
I knew she was going to say that.
All the time. I mean,
Emma's a fried rice fanatic. She can make anything.
because you can put anything in it. It's just
it.
whatever's in the fridge, whatever left over, just throw it in.
Yeah, I would say that mine definitely is probably fried rice and pasta. And I love roasting a good chicken. Gosh, I don't know. It's whatever's fresh at the grocery store. When I walk through, you can Google zucchini and say, what's the best zucchini recipe, and look it up, challenge yourself. But yeah, I mean, I just whatever I'm craving, I'm gonna try to make it and getting inspired.
Desserts too, pastries are always really fun to make.
Yeah, I get sucked into those tasty videos that are on replay, and I'm like, I made those rainbow cakes, which look so beautiful, but dang, it takes a lot of work.
BuzzFeed, like videos over 30 seconds. You're like, oh, that probably takes no time. And it's like 4 hours.
4 hours later, we're like still making this cake.
Yeah, that's so rude.
And people can find me, of course, if you guys are on Instagram or Facebook, at Chef Uno. Breadstick Street Food is the restaurant, and I would love it if you guys follow me. You guys should go to my Chef Uno brand, brands.com. There's some videos of segments that I've done in the past, but my Facebook fan site also has a couple of videos on there as well, and I just started a new segment for a local television station. So we have our sangria, and next week I think we have a tuna toast on there. So I'm very cognizant of using 10 ingredients or less and making sure that it's appealing and it's easy to make.
Okay, what is something new that you made during quarantine?
Ooh. Oh, wait. What were you gonna say?
Wait, no, we've done lots of new things during quarantine. I'm just trying to pinpoint.
We've done a lot of things with spaghetti squash. Famous with spaghetti squash.
I just started making banana bread during quarantine. I've gotten it down to the right recipe, but it's really good. Yeah, she tasted it and she was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I was like, yeah, there's like no sugar, but there is like 2 sticks of butter. So it's still really good.
Because the bananas are super ripe, and so that's the sugar, and like the sweetness is going to come from that. But there's literally 2 sticks of butter in there, and it's like
a stick and a half. It's a stick and a half.
What? Okay, just round that. I'm just say 2. It's actually her pound bread in the
It's so
pudding.
good because you can put like because every time the bananas go over, the dog gets mad at me and she's like, "You wanted bananas and now they're gone." I'm like, "But they're not gone."
Right? This is what I like with a teenager. I don't know. I mean, like we made a lot of steak. My boyfriend, I've been teaching him how to cook, and so I think I've been getting him to cook because you got to teach a guy to fish so he can, eat forever. And what the perks of all that is that he makes us food now. We love it. We love it. He cooks. He cleans. Because it's like after working at the restaurant all day long, the last thing I want to do is come home and cook. And I did a staycation last week, and pretty much we made pasta and steak and chicken or salmon
Salad every
single
night.
night. And we sat at a real dinner table and ate. And we even had game night, which never happens either.
Yes.
Plain taboo.
Yes.
I've become really good at it now. We used to come in dead last.
She's made great improvements over quarantine.
All right, we got one last question and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Favorite kitchen utensil?
Oh, my knife. I have two.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Okay, my knife is the first thing. It's not here. We're in the process of moving, so it's not here. But I love my chef knife. I sharpen it. I look at it. I talk to it. I give it things because it's like the one thing that I needed. I needed one tool in my kitchen. That would be it.
She really does.
Yeah.
Thank you every single day.
Yeah. And the second thing is that cast iron skillet, because you could literally do anything in that. It will last, outlive me, obviously. I can pass it down from generation to generation. But you could fry it, you can make soup in it, you can do all these sorts of things. If I had to go in survival or survivor or something like that, a knife, I'm carrying a knife and cast iron skillet. It could also be used as a weapon too, just in case y'all didn't know.
Very nice.
Emma, do you have one?
I feel like knives are the most fun to use to chop stuff with. And probably the spatula too. The spatula comes with so many good memories, like making desserts, making savory foods. So maybe it is the spatula.
Oh, she loves sweets. I'm not a sweet person, so.
Sweets are my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, I fibbed. I have one more question because Elaine just asked a good one. Who is the best cook in your family?
Oh, definitely her.
I think it's her.
It's definitely her.
No.
You know the thing about Emma is she's so precise in the way that she does things, and she's perfected. She thinks about it. But not only is she great at cooking, but she's also a really good teacher. As opposed to me, I'll just get mad and be like, I just showed you how to do
Yeah,
that.
that's why I couldn't train with her for Chop Junior. I just couldn't. I had to do the other chefs because she would just.
It's like teaching her how to drive. I can't do it. I can't.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much to Chef Uno and her daughter, Emma, for sharing both of your talents and recipes and your enthusiasm with us all tonight. Thanks again to Shannon Fabrics, making the world a softer place with activities like this one. And thanks again to our presenting sponsor, the Hartford, and our hosting sponsor, Adaptive Apps.